All right, welcome back. We have a really interesting guest today. This is Ryan from Oliva Cigars. If you're not familiar with Oliva, I don't know where you've been, but anyway, Ryan, welcome and thank you for being here. And before I even forget, I'm thankful again for having us here at Historic Cigar Lounge, Longwood. Just wanted to say that.
Always.
So Ryan, tell us a little bit about Oliva. I'm sure everybody does know, but for those that are hearing for the very first time, take it away, brother.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me, first and foremost. Beautiful shop, beautiful company to smoke a cigar in. So Oliva Cigar, we are that cigar company that you know and love. And the way I like to always sell Oliva to people and present this company as a whole is we don't reinvent the wheel on anything. We take these classic legacy style blends and we present them as best, as consistent, and as perfect as we can every single time we produce a cigar.
Right.
And that's what Oliva is. If you remember smoking with your grandfather or growing up and your grandfather was smoking, in the history of the entire cigar industry, that's what Oliva does and that's what we do super well.
One of the things that I think we should actually break down is understanding that where did Oliva start?
Yeah. So something neat in the cigar world is everybody knows the history of Cuba in cigars, right? That is sort of the birthplace of cigars as an industry, a retail thing. Everything came out of there for sale. Yes, you have the history of the Mayans and indigenous people all around the world.
Right.
Smoking tobacco or coming to America through Virginia and getting into cigarette tobacco and things like that. But Cuba really is the cradle of it. And everything is still blended and produced and rolled and made in those classic Cuban ways. We've just learned more words to say. You know, you go to like the Lieberman technique, right? You know how to roll cigars, CEO. He's a great cigar roller.
Yes.
That's what everybody uses, and it's those classic Cuban elements. So historically, Cuba's very interesting, right? And Oliva's history within Cuba, as you go back to 1885, 1886,
Right.
is when the first Oliva really got into cigars in Cuba. So this is before the Cuban Civil War. This is before a lot of stuff. If you want to look at a historical aspect of where the world was when people were smoking cigars and producing cigars at a big level, Jack the Ripper was still active in the world.
I love that.
That's when he was active, right?
Yes.
So that was going on
In
the
the
other
1800s.
side of the world,
Yes.
in the 1800s. And you still had cigars there, but it was all coming out of that cradle of cigars in Cuba. So you look at the main growing regions we have now. Cuba, it still measures up there, right? Pinar del Rio, 7 square miles, the birthplace of cigars.
Right.
But you go along the same line of the equator and you have the Dominican Republic and essentially Nicaragua. And these are your big growing regions. Ecuador is a huge part of the cigar world now.
Right.
Most companies grow wrapper leaves in Ecuador. It's just that climate is better suited to it, and that's sort of the focused area for that.
Honduras.
Honduras is massive too. People think Honduras and Nicaragua are vastly different. When you're in Esteli, Nicaragua, you're 30 minutes from
Exactly.
Dali, right?
Same
Honduras
thing.
is right there. You
Yes.
climb a mountain in Condega, you see Honduras.
Yeah.
It's right there.
And you know, it's the thing about Nicaragua is that I think it's 40 volcanoes. Some are still active,
Yep.
and I think that's what makes it such a sought after
Absolutely.
tobacco
Yeah.
because of that.
It's a lot
volcanic
like the
soil.
wine industry, right? So wine's been around even longer than cigars, fermented alcohol, how things are grown. And in the wine world, they use the word terroir. And that's what you get with that volcanic soil, with the way, and I'm no farmer, we have great farmers. Cigars are born from farmers and they're still maintained by farmers. Anything you want to know about cigars and how to grow that tobacco, look at the Farmer's Almanac.
Yeah.
But that volcanic soil, the way the water runs down, these very arid places, right? Tons of rain, things like that, makes it the best terroir to grow tobacco. And coffee. Coffee is a very similar thing.
Yes.
That's why a lot of coffee comes out of those parts of the world. But look at a place like Colombia. It can't grow tobacco as well as it grows coffee. Nicaragua, you get sort of the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Nicaraguan coffee's fantastic.
Someone mentioned it the other day to me. They were like, "You got to start drinking some more Nicaraguan coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when you think about the volcanic part of Nicaragua, it creates great fertilization.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of the farmers consider it very sacred because that the transformation of the energy from the lava to ash to the fertilization of the soil to the seed to the leaf, and then smoking that leaf back up, the smoke goes up to the heavens and back again, and comes back around.
Yeah.
I do believe in the sacred part of it, and I see,
100%.
you know, that's something, you know, we talk about
It's
many
that sacred
times.
circle from the earth, enjoyed on the earth, given back to the earth. I'm sure at some point somebody's going to make a cigar in space, and I'm going to try it. It's going to be awesome. But
I don't think I would want to smoke that one.
you know, they try to make potatoes in space now. That's a big
that
thing.
right?
Yeah, I saw it in a movie. But you know, that's the next generation of farming. But cigars are beautiful because it is from the earth, enjoyed on the earth, and given back to the earth when you finish, right?
Yes.
Cigars only have 3 ingredients.
So, this might sound weird,
No?
I'm sure it will.
but I'm a firm believer of when I smoke, usually depends where I'm at.
Yeah.
If I'm at a cigar lounge, that's fine. I'll put it on the ashtray when I let it rest. But if I'm out somewhere where there's dirt,
We do the same thing, yes.
I put it back on the dirt. I would never put it back where it's concrete or asphalt or
Yes.
anything like that. And this might sound weird.
No,
Like, what
you-
the hell is this guy talking about?
We've talked about that, bro.
Just give it back to where it came from.
Yeah. Some
And I-
people
and-
think I'm crazy because they'll see
Yeah.
me like, why are you putting the cigar? I'm digging a little hole with my hand, my fingers, and I'm shoving back the little bit of the nub back to the earth. And they're looking at me like, I don't even explain it anymore.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
it depends on how much you drink before you do that. That sort of changes the perspective.
Definitely.
But no, it's something very much of this earth, and it's these rich cultural histories that you're enjoying each time you enjoy a cigar. So you can smoke this cigar and go, oh, I'm transported back to 1885 when Melanio Oliva was in Cuba smoking his first ever cigar. And it's not that different from then. And look at the nature of tobacco. So we have a great farmer in our company, Ernesto. He tends all our fields. He's our rock star. But he said when we were in Nicaragua, he went, tobacco always knows when it's thirsty. Right? So it's not going to drink too much water from the earth. It's not going to take too much. It's a crop. It's a living organism.
Yes.
And it is intuitive, and it will drink from the earth what it needs to get to the best level.
I agree.
And something really cool.
That's deep.
Yeah, and that's, hey, they said it, not me. But in Nicaragua, how we grow things, and it sort of lets you know when to harvest the tobacco, when you might have bacteria or bugs or fungus coming in. When you go to Nicaragua, and I hope everybody has that opportunity. It's a beautiful, rich country, rich with history.
Peaceful, too.
Wonderful people.
Yeah.
The people are happy. And I'll get back into that in a little bit. But at the corners of all our fields, we plant sunflowers. And they're the biggest, most beautiful sunflowers you've ever seen. And I love sunflowers. My grandmother always loved sunflowers, so they're meaningful to me.
Right.
And these were the most beautiful sunflowers I ever saw. But we can tell when our crop is ready to harvest by what's happening to these sunflowers, because they're on the perimeter of the hectares of tobacco fields, the seedlings, the growth. And when those sunflowers are close to being ready to harvest, we know it's time to harvest the tobacco. And it's this really neat thing where nature informs nature. And we're facilitating nature to happen.
And it's funny you say that because, like, if you listen to some of the farmers, there's a couple of things that they look at as indicators. The hummingbird,
Yep.
the owls, frogs. I've heard that story about if you see a lot of frogs on the farm, one, they're taking care of the pests, but also it tells you that the ground is fertile, that it's not been really touched by man so much. So that ecosystem,
It gives life, it supports life.
they just know. It's true. I never really mentioned, we talk about it, but some people go like, what are you talking about?
It sounds esoteric, right?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I like getting tarot cards read and all that fun stuff too. But everything's born of this earth, and I think it's something super important that slows us down as cigar smokers, because we can get so used to, biting a cigar, lighting it, driving 100 miles.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. It's something to pass the time.
Right.
But I think if you really focus on where it came from, and it is a product entirely of this earth,
Yes.
it's cool. It's the most organic thing.
It's
Before
vegan.
farm to table existed, it's vegan.
Yeah.
Even the glue we use, right? Cigarettes aren't fully vegan because they use pork byproduct as glue, and God knows what else inside
Yes.
of them. But cigars, 3 ingredients in a premium cigar: tobacco, water, and vegetables. Essentially, that's what we make our glue from.
We're all on the same wavelength. That's why we get along so well, is that we understand that whole concept, and we're not caught up in the commercial part of it. And so much of the new people coming on don't really get that yet. And I think that's our job, to spread that back to them so that they can really love it like we love it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at cigar boxes, right? Everything is celebrating those cultures. Lots of companies do it really well, but it shows indigenous people from the areas where this stuff comes from celebrating life, right? It's something that you can look at and you go, okay, I understand a little bit more about where this is from.
Yeah.
It's not about shiny packaging,
Right.
Making it look like pop culture. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing-
Some people are very successful with that.
Right. That's the commercial aspect of it, which is,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
but
why
then-
Oliva's great, is we tie in to those sort of early Americana roots.
Yes.
And then back to the islands and the countries in Central and South America where we grow this product. And you can see that story told in all of our boxes. Something neat too, and this sort of goes back to Cuba, is a few years ago we acquired a couple companies, but we have the brand Cuba Aliados, which stands for Cuban Alliance. And this is sort of how I learned it. It's not a Cuban alliance in terms of Cuba is the cradle of civilization and that's where the best cigars are from. It's the Cuban Alliance because these were the Cuban master blenders, the master rollers, who all sort of left Cuba at different times for different reasons, but it could be how the Olivas left, right?
Right.
To get away from the civil wars and some of the wars there and to develop in other countries. And a lot of these people, it's this Cuban alliance of master blenders and master rollers who left and settled in other places like Nicaragua, like the DR, like Tampa or Miami.
Speaking
So
of that,
it's this
real quick
history.
before, because I don't want you to stop what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think
I'll ramble.
that needs to be noted, because some of the New World cigars that people find very popular, understand that the history, that a lot of these families came from Cuba.
Yep.
And with it came the seeds
Yep.
that they brought with them, because, how many seeds can you fit in your hand? A whole boatload, because
Yeah.
they're so small.
Yeah, people don't realize how tiny a tobacco seed is. I mean, if you have one, you can't see it.
Yeah.
Right? It's smaller than a grain of dirt
Yes.
in a lot of ways. And there's so much. And each one of those can become a cigar. It's wild when you think about it. So now, we've introduced science and all sorts of things to it, so we know how to develop seeds and hybridize seeds.
Right.
Just like any other level of farming, right?
Yeah.
It's not like a tomato, you plant a tomato seed, you get a tomato. You can pick these varietals, and you can go through science and figure out the best way to grow those in the climate where you're growing things. So like the cigar industry, we always take those little seedlings, or the seeds, we plant them in our own sort of terrarium, grow the seedlings. When those are ready, then we'll transport those and put them into the ground
Right.
and let Earth take over.
Yes.
And it just does those natural processes with a little bit of science in there to make sure we have the best product that harkens back to some of those original blends. But the world's different, right? Weather's different. Things change so much that farming changes
That
completely.
climate, we've talked about it many times, how each crop can vary so much by what's going on,
Well, a lot of people complain about the consistency and quality of Cuban cigars. And I said earlier, Pinar del Rio, that's the main growing region for cigars in Cuba, 7 square miles. So that's the size of San Francisco, which might seem like a lot, but in terms of growth, that's very, very small for a product that goes out to the entire world.
Yes.
But also, when you look historically, even just these last 10, 15 years, every major hurricane that's really ravaged the tropics has hit Cuba first.
That's right.
So the ground cannot sustain that consistent growth. So that's why we also went into countries like Honduras and Nicaragua and Dominican Republic, because we can shield things. You know, we can plant on the side of a mountain and we know this mountain's not going to get hit by a crazy storm. But if we want to plant in a different time of year, we'll go to this side of the mountain because the sun hits it at a different level.
It's the intricacies, all the things that go on behind the blend, so to speak. And
That's science.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, I mentioned wine before. I drink a lot of champagne. And something neat about champagne is you can take the same exact grape and grow it on a different side of the mountain, different exposure to the sun, and it changes it completely.
Definitely.
It can thicken the skin of that. It can make a different product from the same core ingredient. And I
Yes.
think that's so fascinating. And how people just intuitively know that, right? That is generational cultural knowledge. And that's something so fascinating. And I think it's important to recognize that each time you sit in a cigar lounge and smoke, right? It's not, oh yeah, we've just got these leather-bound chairs and a glass of whiskey. It's, we're part of history each time we smoke these.
True. I agree with you. Let's talk about something.
Yeah.
Oliva V and the Melanio.
Yes.
Okay. There is differences, even from the natural Oliva and the Melanio to the Maduro.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
So a lot of people talk about the blends of cigars. And blend is a fine word, but one of our main scientists in Nicaragua, really great guy, explained it to me. He said, it's not a blend, it's a recipe.
Okay.
Right? Because a blend is something that's always this by rote. A recipe, you might have to tweak different things, right? What's seasonal. So the core of our recipe, the regular Serie V that everybody knows and loves, the Liga Especial Serie V, that's an Ecuador Habano wrapper. So that's a Habano seed wrapper we grow in Ecuador. And it gives it so many wonderful characteristics. When you look at the Melanio, we use a lot of that same core recipe inside the guts of the cigar, I'll call it, so the binder, the filler. We use a lot of that. We use tobacco from Condega, Esteli, Jalapa, where all of our fields are. But on the Melanio, we use an Ecuador Sumatra wrapper,
Yes.
which just has these different characteristics. And then you get into Maduros, and I mean, you'd know this better than me. For how long has the Mexican San Andreas been the go-to Maduro wrapper?
You're right.
Long time.
A long time, right?
Yeah.
And it's what people really use the most now. So we have a Serie V Maduro, we have Melanio Maduro. On both of those, we use Mexican San Andreas wrappers. But we can get different aspects out of the recipe depending on how long we age it.
Right.
And things like that. So look at beef, dry aged beef, prime beef. Same thing, same cows, essentially. But what you do in those processes brings out different elements.
Definitely.
So you'll hear people say higher priming on cigars, you know, more aged. And it's that same kind of thing. We can take that same ingredient from the recipe and treat it a little bit differently and get a completely different end result.
The funny is that I love all the lines of Oliva, the Melanio and the V series. I do enjoy my Maduro. I like the V more so than I do like the Melanio.
Yep.
Melanio is smoother. It has some beautiful notes. It has the sweetness. It has a little bit of the spice, but I always gravitate back
Yep.
to the V.
Well, from the retail side, wholesale side, whatever side you want to say I'm coming in from, yes, we sell cigars. That's our product. But more than that, we're selling an experience, right? We're selling you a moment in time, whether it's 30 minutes if you're smoking a nub, 30, 45 minutes, whether it's an hour and a half if you're smoking a big double toro. We're selling you that experience in that moment in time.
Right.
And that's how you pick it. So you'll have people categorize cigars. They go, this is my everyday smoker.
Right.
This is my special occasion.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, the everyday smoker is going to be our regular Serie V. And that special occasion is the Melanio. But why can't you have a special occasion on a Tuesday morning?
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
True.
You get to pick your experience through it. And that's where we're in a unique place in a price point is we say the Melanios are super premium, right? That's the highest regular offering that we make within our line.
Right.
And it's still a sub $25 cigar in a lot of parts of the world. So it's accessible to everyone.
Definitely accessible.
Because you want to keep cigars accessible.
Yeah.
And just like any other level of retail, you want to strive towards something, right?
Yeah.
My Casio is a great watch, but sometimes you want to go buy a Rolex. And I think there's markets for every bit of that in the cigar industry, right? We see a lot of people coming out with $100 cigars.
Yeah.
I have to say this.
So
I'm
say,
sorry.
right?
I see more people with a Rolex than a Casio. I got more respect for you wearing that Casio.
Thank you very much.
No, seriously, yeah.
It's real.
I'm not big
a
into
lot
Rolex.
easier to read.
I just like the face on it too. I mean, if you had to pick one, it'd be the Philippe, but you know.
Yeah, those are great.
Yeah, but I have like 3 or 4 Casios, and you know, people are like, "Why are you wearing a Casio?" Read up on it. If you have to, go read up on it. I mean, we're going on the watches, but hey,
That's true. I mean,
it's
for me,
part of the
you know,
lifestyle, okay?
I get up every day between 6 or 7, take care of stuff at home, and then I'm hitting the road for, it could be a day, it could be a week, it could be a month out on the road as a cigar rep, right? Whatever my territory dictates is what I like to do.
Right.
So I like to just grab a watch that I can slap on and head out the door. Hope I brought enough clean shirts. If not, you know, find a laundromat somewhere on the road.
Yeah.
Try to keep a bag of quarters in the car.
It's like my cigar. It's my mood. You know, so if I feel like putting on the Philippe, or if I feel like putting on the Casio, or even the Seiko, that's the Omega. You know, it just goes with whatever I'm feeling at the moment, how I'm going to go for the day, or how does it match my outfit. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't go into all the
I
other
must
stuff.
say, everybody's dressed very nice today. You guys did good. We all got the earth
Look at
tones
you,
on.
brother.
We got the earth tones.
You guys killed it.
That's good. I mean, I wish I could have my shirt unbuttoned a couple more buttons, but you know.
Yeah,
And
we
his
got-
frames. Let's talk about those frames, bro. I'm loving
nice.
the frames.
Are those prescription?
No. No, they're not.
He's like, I just put it on.
I was like, hey, listen, today I'm gonna match a little bit like Maduro. I gotta wear some glasses.
That's good.
Fit in. So I did.
And you know, you have Melanio, you have the Gilberto, you know, and you have the Oliva, right? Name. Go a little bit. Tell me a little bit about the family names and any
So
little thing.
they're all historical names within Oliva, right? You have Melanio and Gilberto, and these are family names that have filtered through so many times. And there's lots of Olivas still out there. Jose Oliva and his brothers, and there's plenty of Gilbertos and Melanios around there. It's a really cool family name. It just so happens to sound awesome for a cigar line too.
Yeah.
And you look at our Serie G, which is a really good cigar that we make. That's sort of one of our entry level.
Right.
The G, the O. The G stands for Gilberto. The O stands for Oliva. We're just taking more of these family names and finding a way to put that into our branding.
Right.
That stays honest to that history of us as a company
True.
in perpetuity. Because that's what you want. That's what these families do, and it's awesome.
Which one is your best seller?
The Melanio is massive for us. So the Melanio came out in 2013, and when it came out, the Churchill Melanio won Cigar of the Year.
The
in
Churchill.
Cigar Aficionado.
Yes.
Yep. And then the following year, the Melanio Figurado, 2014, won Cigar of the Year. 2 years in a row, same blend, if you will, same recipe.
Beautiful
of
looking,
cigar,
too.
But different sizes.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. I
Beautiful.
love how the Figurado looks.
Yes.
I have some Churchill Maduro with me here that we're going to get into smoking it a little bit because these V we're flying through them.
I'm telling you.
It's a great cigar.
It is.
Yeah, we started way before. We just started smoking as soon as he came in.
Yeah.
The Olivas was lit. You know.
As you can see.
But you know, there's another blend. It's been around for a while. It's the Master Blend.
Yeah, Master Blend's cool. So
Oh my God.
Master Blend was
My
one of the
favorite.
first cigars I ever smoked, one of my favorite, but literally one of the first cigars I smoked when I was 18 years old. 21 if you're watching now. That's just what we have to do. So the Master Blend's cool because it really ties in sort of everything. It's a Nicaraguan produced cigar. The binder and filler are all Nicaraguan, but we use American broadleaf.
And that broadleaf
Yep.
on that Master Blend.
Yep, you get a lot of people, and I'm sure you hear it more than anybody else with Maduro, right?
Yeah.
Is people go, oh, that's a nice Maduro. It's a nice dark Maduro. There's different elements and leaves using American broadleaf. So American broadleaf typically comes from 2 regions of the United States, either Pennsylvania
Or
or Connecticut,
Connecticut.
depending on seasonal
Right.
growing conditions, farming conditions. And it's one of the most expensive ones to use if you just want to look logistically at cigars, because it's still grown in America. That's one that's not really gone to Ecuador and Central and South America. So we have to harvest that here in America, send it to Nicaragua, combine the cigar, and bring it back. So this is sort of a premium ingredient that we use on the recipe of these cigars. But when I was 18 years old, I was in Tampa with some of my best friends, walking around, and as I remember it then, I didn't know that the cigar industry was a thing, right? I knew people smoked cigars, I knew there were cigar stores, but I didn't know it was so massive. But we were at some, as I remember it, like a street fair in Tampa, and I'm sure it was some multi-vendor event
Probably
back
was,
then
yeah.
when I didn't even know what a multi-vendor event was. But me and my best friend Alex, Cio knows Alex, we grabbed a couple of these, smoked them, and we looked at each other and we went, I like this. I like being a cigar enthusiast, cigar smoker, whatever you want to call it. And that's all because of this cigar.
Yeah.
And then cut to however many years later, and I work for this company. It's sort of kismet in a lot of ways. And it
And that's the third version and the only real version that's around now. 'cause I know
exactly
you
the
had-
only version that's around. We made a Master Blend 1, a Master Blend 2, and then 3. And I've heard it said, I don't know how much truth is in the story, because in the cigar world you have lots of lore, right? Lots
Right.
of fables and folk stories. But the idea is, in terms of selling something, it's really cool to sell a 4-pack. It's easy. It's sort of a codified packaging. So we wanted to make a Master Blend 4, and somehow in that journey, we got on to the Melanio. And I've heard that from a lot of people. It's never any official company edict.
Right.
But I just like that that's an idea of what might have happened back then.
That broadleaf. First of all, I love the way it looks because
Yeah. It's rustic, it's shaggy,
you said
it's
it,
dirty.
and it really, I think that epitomizes that broadleaf. Like Willie
When you
calls
say
it.
that this is coming from the earth,
Seriously.
you could pluck this cigar right from the earth, like an apple from a tree, light it and say, yes, this tastes earthy.
But you know what I
It's
love
so
about
good.
that too? They had the sweetness on it.
Yep.
The sweetness on it is a natural sweetness. Of course, we're not talking about flavored cigars.
Yep.
That's another topic. But it holds that throughout first, second, and third.
Yep.
And that is hard because you can get caught up on, oh, this tastes so good in the camera, and then it fades.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it.
Now, these, especially this Robusto size, I've probably smoked 5 of these back to back, not even realizing it.
Yeah.
Just going, wow, this is delicious. I don't want it to stop. And then,
What- What year was it that the Master Blend came out?
06? Well, that one?
yeah, I think we started Master Blend in 06. This all predates me.
Yeah.
But I believe we started those around that time. It was before Nub came out.
Which is another one. We're going to talk about that in a few
Yep,
minutes.
yep.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
Our friend in common, Don Patel,
Oh, yeah. I know him.
Cigars on the Avenue. Fantastic place.
Great shop, great retail partner.
Yes.
Great person.
They're-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an amazing place.
I wouldn't be in the cigar industry without that guy.
Yes. That's
So we're giving a shout out to Mr. Patel.
Yeah.
You heard us.
Yes, sir. That's like the.
I'm sure he'll watch.
So he gave me a Master Blend years ago.
Yeah.
And he had it in his humidor for years. This thing was a religious experience when you smoked it. I guess the more you leave that cigar alone and let it rest.
Yeah, and that's a cool
Oh, yeah,
benchmark
it
for
just-
for Nicaraguan tobacco. Is it really? I think ages in the best way, and all cigars age really well.
No, I agree with you with that.
But it's just like wine,
Yeah.
champagne, things
Yeah.
I know as well. There's a sweet spot, right? Yeah, it's cool if you get a bottle of Dom Perignon that sank on the Titanic. Not be good, right? It's just old.
Yeah, true.
But Nicaraguan
it's just
tobacco,
old, guys.
right?
That
Nicaraguan
sounds like a good
tobacco
story there.
has so many aspects that ages extremely well. And for the average consumer of cigars, they go, well, what should I put in my humidor? And I worked a lot in retail, and we can dive into this later. But people would always go, well, should I just keep a few nice cigars in my humidor? And I go, keep everything and let these things help each other out. Because humidity in a humidor, we say humidity, but the term is relative humidity. So
Correct,
it's the
yeah.
humidity that is relative to itself in that
Inside
environment.
that, yes.
So you want to sort of take that tropical environment and keep that in your humidor. So the more Nicaraguan cigars you have in there, and you can keep, Padron with your Oliva, things like that, and they will help each other age over time.
And I really think it's because of that leaf. We had a conversation about this before where we're talking about aging New World cigars. And I think because of the hardiness of the leaf and the strength and lejero and everything, keeping it in your humidor and just allowing it to sit brings out even more to that cigar. You can do with Dominican, yeah, you can.
Absolutely. That's when you get the crystallization on the cigar, and you get it so much more, I think, in these richer, sturdier, I use the word sturdy a lot for Nicaraguan tobacco.
Oh,
And when you look at the production of Nicaraguan tobacco versus Dominican tobacco, and it's not a hard and fast rule, but essentially, and this is how I like to tell people to look at it, because not everybody's really been to a factory and seen how cigars are made. But when you get a tobacco leaf, it looks a lot like a big piece of kale, right? Dinosaur kale or Italian kale. And whenever you harvest that and get it ready for a recipe, is you cut a certain part of the stem or a part of the stalk because it grows very similarly. It comes off the main stalk and you trim it.
right.
In Dominican tobacco, because it's a higher combustion rate, and this all ties into combustion of cigars, you trim more of that stem out of the middle. So it's like when you're peeling
Yes.
it off of a leaf of kale, you peel more of that. Nicaraguan tobacco, because it's sturdy, because it's strong, we want to leave a little bit more of that root because it slows down some of the combustion and it allows those flavors to intensify
Yes.
and build. And I
Right.
think that's a really, really cool thing. And I think more about that.
I'm gonna go with my opinion again. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
Can I
This is
say
the
it?
my opinion moment.
Yeah, my
CO.
opinion. I believe
Yep.
that especially Nicaraguan tobacco. So we have this whole thing of it's the most full body. My opinion is that I think the more you leave it and you age it, it mellows down in a good
Yep.
way.
Yes.
It's not as full body, and it becomes. I think it's just beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The taste on it it's amazing.
I think more bolder,
Sweetness.
more fullness of a cigar.
Yeah.
The aging is where you get the level up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Moment
it's all
up.
about finding the balance.
Yes.
Right. And that's how blending works too, is you want to have a consistent flavor. And I learned this a lot from my buddy Michael Herklotz, Ferriotego Cigars right now.
Right.
I worked for him in New York at Nat Sherman for a handful of years. And I learned so much, not just retail, but about the really cool improvisational level of cigar blending. Is when you blend a cigar, you're blending it to last year's. And that's how you get consistency in a blend. Wine is the same way. Whiskey, scotch, bourbon. All these master blenders of all those different fields, they blend to the last year's because that's how you get consistency in the market. So you might be able to find a Melanio from, I was going to say 20 years ago. It wasn't around then.
Yeah.
But from 2013, it's going to taste different.
Yes.
Because we blend, but that's just the natural changing of the times. That's how seasons and palates shift. So we have the same cigar, same product. It's almost like playing the telephone game, right?
Right.
So you blend it to last year's to make it consistent throughout. And sometimes you go, okay, well, instead of 40% Condega tobacco, I need to use 35%.
Right. You change it up just a little bit.
Just
to get a little tweak.
like wine. It's like, okay, well, I used a lot of Chardonnay for the last harvest of this, but now that grape's tasting differently, and I'm
have
going
to
to
tweak.
blend it
All
to
right.
this.
Tweak
I
it.
think that's so fascinating.
Yeah, it is. It is.
The science behind it all,
Yeah.
It's not just people in a factory rolling leaves together and then pumping it out.
Yeah.
That's what most people see, but you don't understand what goes behind that blend.
Yeah. And I try not to
tweaking.
get too precious with this stuff,
But it is precious.
it really is,
It
right?
really is.
It's meaningful. This is not just my career, but this is a massive component and aspect of my life. right? I found so many great friends. I found some terrible friends at the same time in the cigar world. But it's such a big thing that it is precious to a point, and I love being able to share all those stories and sort of that ideology behind it. We held for the train. Trains are great. Trains brought tobacco all throughout America,
they did.
right? Thank God we have that.
We started the interview, and we never talked about how did I meet Ryan.
Let's hear that
Years
story.
ago. Again, we're talking about cigars on the avenue with John, and I met Ryan. What? Shit, more than 15
It had
years
to be
15.
Wait, whoa.
sometime
That-
between 2008 and 2012. So I went to college at Rollins College, right around there. We were in town around the same time, and I learned so much about tobacco from this guy. We did a lot of early events. There's historical photos back in the day of me wearing a hat, just not dissimilar to that, but much lower quality, blowing a trumpet at a Kentucky Derby event. It was a fun event we did together, but we've been buddies, yeah.
Wow, I don't want to talk
15
about
years.
the details of that event.
Yeah, I don't remember
That
the
was
details.
Epic. That was epic.
He said that was epic, so we can talk about it off camera.
It wouldn't be on camera. We wouldn't be able to talk about that on camera.
It's not that kind of content.
No.
That's behind the paywall.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that.
Yeah, but I know Ryan for a lot of years, and good person.
Likewise.
Good person.
And enjoys the cigars. That's what brings us all together. All this around a cigar. You
If
know?
it wouldn't have been because of the cigar, I probably would have never met you.
Exactly, yeah.
You hear that a
Certainly
lot.
not.
Yeah, you hear that a lot. You know, that's the other thing about cigars and being in a lounge. I really believe this is so true, is that it's the place where you could meet somebody with opposing views
Yep.
and not become a fighting match,
Yeah.
not going to your corner, so to speak. You actually will be able to hear that person and actually can agree with maybe some things that person say. This is what is lost in what's going on in the world, not just today, but always in that cigar lounge. We say equalizer. I just think we're human again, you know?
Well, it's the place you go to celebrate your victories, to lick your wounds and defeats sometimes, or to just spend a day. And it's always that great reset. You know the audience, you're going to get there. And we know each other throughout years and years, and there's so many people in cigar lounges like that. I probably didn't see you for what, 4 years?
Yeah.
It doesn't
In a
matter.
row once. It's like no time passed.
Exactly.
And there's so much of that. One of my good buddies that I've smoked cigars with for a long time, he recently got diagnosed with Parkinson's, which is a hard hand to be dealt.
Yeah.
But he went to the cigar lounge because he knew there was that community that would support him.
That support.
He knew that there were these people that he's known for years.
Yes.
And he can fit back in, and that is a sense of normalcy
Yes.
that you get a cigar lounge.
It's a peace territory. You
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah,
You know.
it's neutral ground.
Even playing field, neutral ground, Switzerland, whatever you want to call it. It's great. I mean, they really are magical places.
It is.
And I think you hear that across any lounge and any place that you go. That's the one thing that's the common thread,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
It's
that's
this.
the beautiful thing of these two. So we call them brick-and-mortar stores, right?
Right.
Back to the logistics of this as a business. And there's so much that you want to do in service of those to have that. And I know a lot of cigar smokers complain about online sales and things like that. And yeah, it's changing things, right? Amazon started as a bookstore,
Yeah.
and now it's Amazon, right?
Right.
I think the cool thing with online sales in cigars is we're getting these in the hands of people who might not have a shop near them, who might not be able to have a place sustain enough business
Right.
to get it regularly. And I like looking at it in that beautiful way of we're getting these in people's hands that otherwise they wouldn't have them, but they want to be part of that same experience. And you know, so many people go online to Discords or Reddits or chat boards.
Yes.
And that's another thing that I love about Oliva is we are always one of those brands that is spoken highly of. You know, internet strangers celebrate somebody smoking an Oliva for the first time and they say, oh, you've made it. You're smoking cigars now. And it's a really cool thing that I get to be part of that story.
It's Oliva Nation.
Exactly, it's true. You know, I go out and I do events especially in Florida, but sometimes around the country, we do these big multi-vendor events, which is where you have different cigar companies, and it's a hub for cigar fans to come.
Yes.
And a lot of those people, they're the online cigar fans. They're saving up. They're spending their hard-earned money to go to these events for a day, for 2 days, for 3 days, however long it is, to celebrate this culture. So I like that in that online component, we're able to get the same beautiful product into their hands.
It's true.
I think it's important.
And a lot of people don't understand that. I've been to cities that for you to drive to a cigar lounge, you got to be 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah.
So I mean, online, it really does good.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, it's some people are ticked off that the online is doing so well.
Yeah, it's
because
hard.
it
The
takes
prices
away.
are different. Things things are whatever. But that's commerce. That's the nature of commerce.
Yeah, that's fine. It's okay.
You can find a cigar online probably cheaper than it is in a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
But what you can't get is live action
That lounge.
that happens in a cigar lounge. So,
Oh, yeah.
they're both important because you can't always get to the cigar lounge, like you said, and, that's great, but I'm real big, and we've talked about this. When you go to a cigar lounge, support
Yeah.
the lounge.
Not only that, but in a cigar lounge, your knowledge of cigars expands because you start talking about.
Exactly. You're
This
not in a
cigar, that
vacuum.
cigar.
You're
Yeah,
you're with
exactly.
people.
So,
and you
I
might
mean-
disagree. You go, I don't like that cigar at
Yes.
all. You go, why do you like it?
Right.
And you go, oh, I don't like tuna salad sometimes.
Yeah.
But, I'm not going to judge somebody who likes tuna salad. I'm not going to say, oh, you're an idiot. That's disgusting food. I just don't like it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And with some we're set in our ways, and some old school will give you a hard time with certain ones, but hey, it's all in fun. No one's going away mad.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
and some of my richest friendships have started and continue to grow in cigar lounges. I mean, one of my good buddies, I was a groomsman at his wedding. I met this kid at a cigar lounge. One of my good friends, he hadn't talked to his father for a while, and he said, oh, my dad likes cigars. We were talking about cigars. I took him to some cigar lounges. I got him some Oliva product.
Yes.
And he went, I smoked this with my dad, and they were in a Dallas-Fort Worth area, DFW. And he said, I hadn't talked to my dad in years. And I smoked this cigar with him, and I told him some of the stories you told me. And now they have a relationship again. And that's something that these things can do.
awesome.
They can bridge the gaps of time,
It does.
right? You can disagree with somebody, but at the end of the day, you still want another cigar, and you're going to come back. And if you see that guy, you're not going to go, hey. You're going to go, hey, I know we got a little wild there.
Yeah.
But some of my
okay.
richest friendships come out of those places.
Definitely.
And you learn a lot about people because it's it's an open conversation,
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
Scientifically, cigars, nicotine, magnesium, these are all things that we'll go to the health food store, buy pills to take
Well,
to relax.
true.
But we're relaxed when we're having these conversations with people.
That's
Throw a
fact.
couple good spirits in there and
We want to talk about
anything's
some
on the
pairing?
table. Oh yeah, so pairings are fun, right? A big aspect of our job as cigar sales reps is we do events. And a lot of these events, you want to pair it with a liquor or a snack, anything like that. When it comes to pairings, a lot of people like same, right? They go, I'm smoking a really strong cigar. I need a really strong peaty scotch to drink with it.
Right.
And that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one as so
Right.
much, but yes, go on. Sorry.
But this ties back into why I prefer the word recipe instead of blend for cigars. So let's look at a sandwich. We've all eaten sandwiches, I'm sure. A few of us should eat a few less sandwiches. But there's different components in each one. So say I have a steak sandwich, I want to focus on the steak. Cool. Maybe I want to focus on an aspect that's the sauce on the sandwich, right? The lighter thing. So that's where you find these complementary notes that blend to each other in how it presents your palate to be more acceptable to the flavor of this.
Yeah.
So I've mentioned champagne a couple times. One of my favorite businesses, Modest Wine in Winter Park. My buddy Kyle runs this place, and he's a guy I met in New York City when I lived up there and worked at Nat Sherman, and I worked at Davidoff. But he has a very specialized focus in what's called grower champagne. So that's more your boutique brand version, right? So grower champagne is the people that own the vineyard, own the estate, and you get this really higher quality, more mineral aspect. I love pairing that with even a strong Maduro. And sometimes people go, well, that makes no sense.
To you, it makes no sense, but
Right.
it does.
But it prepares your palate in a different way.
There you go.
Right? It's the
Yes.
effervescence of the bubbles. It's going to open up things more.
And also cleanse it as you go along, so
Very much so.
balance it out that so you can taste
Yep.
the note.
And champagne's something that's really unique too because it's dependent on the atmosphere that it's in, right? The bubbles are caused from CO2. It's captured in a certain way with the fermentation in the bottle.
Right.
But if you open it up in a place where there's a lot of warmth, there's a lot more people, there's less bubbles. And it really changes that overall experience. So that's where pairing comes in neat. I did a really cool pairing with champagne at the Grand Havana Room in New York once, and in that Sherman Cigar when I worked for that company. And I never would have anticipated those going together, but they go together so beautifully. Or people will drink sparkling water.
Yes.
Or carbonated soda, right?
Yes.
Root beer and a cigar is a fantastic pairing.
Fantastic.
But it's not about finding the one thing that's the circle, right? It's your Venn diagram. You find those complementary notes in the middle, and you go, okay, I know I can pair this cigar with vodka because here's how it makes my palate acceptable to this overall flavor.
And that's such a
If
big,
that makes sense. I know that's
It does.
very rambling.
It does.
no,
But,
no.
yeah.
And I'm not a big vodka guy. And I kind of shy away from it just in general. I just
Yeah.
doesn't do anything for me. But like you said, here's the beauty about pairings. Like you said, a lot of people like to pair strength with strength. I'm not a big component of that because I think you miss out.
Yeah.
Something's drowned in the other out, or something is just a little too harsh.
You want to find the nuance, right?
Yes.
Because that's where beauty is, right? You can objectively, and everybody can objectively look at something and say, yes, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But when you find those little elements and you say, this is why it's beautiful to me,
The sweet spot.
right? That's
Yeah.
how you build your palate. That's how you develop things. That's how you have this larger conversation with people, right? I mean, without that, would we have
But
art? Would we have culture?
it takes that trying.
Yeah.
Like, don't be afraid. Just give it a try.
So they
Yeah.
did a study on the
Yep.
psychology of cigar smokers. I remember reading this, and one of the things that they say is that we're more open to trying new things
Yeah.
because of the cigar and a different way we try to put things together. Yeah, I'm sure there's people that are like, no, this is what I like, and that's all I like. I don't
And there's
want
nothing
anything
wrong
else."
with that.
Nothing wrong with it, but I think we're a more open-minded community, so to speak.
Yeah.
Willing to try different things, or even on the recommendation of another
Yeah.
person in the
absolutely.
lounge. You trust it, and you'll take a chance on it. Yeah.
Well, and you're willing to spend more time with it because a big word in the cigar world is ritual, right? Some people, they go, I need to cut it this certain way. I need to light it with matches. I'm not going to use soft flame or this. I need matches. I need that. And there's nothing wrong with any of it. It's the ritual.
Right.
So I think cigar smokers are so much more open to listening to somebody else's process and going, I never thought about that.
There's the thing.
La Sorbonne, the French Institute of Taste, has done studies on cigars on the best way to cut and light to present the most authentic release of the palate of that cigar. Because there's oils in here naturally, there's combustion, and all that releases in different levels. You introduce the airflow when you cut a cigar.
Definitely.
And that can change your entire experience. So we're constantly experimenting.
Yes,
And I think that's huge in the
Yeah.
cigar world.
I agree with that. Let's talk about the nub.
Yeah.
And the reason why I think that is something that is going to pick up a lot more here. It's about timing,
Yep.
but don't let it fool you because you see this small cigar and you think it's going to be a 20-minute smoke or a 15-minute smoke. But that ring gauge,
Yeah, our classic, most popular nub ring gauge is 4 inches by 60 millimeters, right? That's sort of how the measurements go. 60 is big, right? That's
Yeah.
the same size as your double Toro.
Think about
That
it.
is a lot of tobacco. And that's
Yeah.
where you get value, right? Is you're paying a lower price for a lot of tobacco packed into a cigar. And the nub is something really neat for us. So about 10 years ago, we were bought by the Vandermarleer cigar family, VCF, out of Belgium. Fred, our owner now, is really introducing our cigars, these New World cigars, into UK and Europe predominantly. Also, Asian market's massive.
Yes.
But you're seeing more things like Nub. We also make cane.
Yeah.
And these are fascinating cigars to me because they really capture that essence of Americana. And that's something that we're able to share with the world on a larger level. Somebody in Glasgow, Scotland can smoke a Nub and go, oh, this is the same exact thing that they're smoking in Longwood, Florida, right?
Yes.
And it's fascinating that that experience now, we all share it.
Yeah.
And it's something neat in terms of New World cigars and that part of the world, is it's something that they don't know. So a few years ago, I was in Scotland and London. All the duty-frees were full of Nub. And our Nub Connecticut 460 is a massively popular cigar in that part of the world. And I think it's just other cultures wanting to learn about other cultures. So we have this beautiful Americana-style brand. We came out with the Nub and Cane around 2005, 2006.
Yes.
And it's really, yeah.
I think it has to do also with the packaging that they do. It's a cigar that you can just grab a couple and just throw them anywhere because
Exactly.
it comes in the tube.
Yeah.
And you can't go wrong with it.
Yeah,
You grab
and
a
it
couple
hits
and
it hits
you just-
another market.
Yes.
You know, another demographic for cigar smokers that might not want, you know, the rich Nicaraguan cultural history. They go, oh, Nub, that looks cool. That's Americana. It's, you know, hatch print, slap style advertising, and it's beautiful, and that caters to them. And then at the end of the day, we still have our same Oliva quality and consistency of flavor in that brand.
See,
And
so
that's
when
why
I
it's massive for us.
when I think of the
20
Nub, I
years
think
now.
of it being, and Oliva did a great job on it. Let me just say that because
Yep.
that's the sweet spot. I think Oliva did a great job. It's almost like if they cut the cigar
Exactly.
right at the second,
And it's brilliant
and it
advertising.
didn't lose.
Brilliant marketing. We have, I think, hands down, one of the best marketing teams in terms of cigars and being able to communicate these stories. Something neat with Nub is I'm sure a lot of people have been into a cigar shop and seen those old Nub stands we had, which was a giant version of a Nub cigar. And the cool thing with Nub is everything lines up so much that you can stack your cigar when you finished it and it stands up. So
It
now our
really
new-
does.
Yeah.
It holds that ash real tight.
And our new marketing is we tag it with still standing
I like that.
because it is. And it's this really, really cool thing. And like you said, so many cigar smokers go, the sweet spot is the nub of the cigar. So we just made one that's entirely nub. And it's cool.
Makes sense.
And I enjoyed.
It's like the Reader's Digest version of a cigar, right?
It's really good. I like the Habano. I like the Cameroon.
Cameroon is nice.
And I do like the Maduro, of course. The
Yep.
Connecticut is smooth, but morning smoke, if you want to call it that, or you want to call it midday. But for me,
Yeah.
those three are like really, I enjoy them. I really enjoy them. Habanos has its own, and they all have their own little characteristics.
Yeah. And that's how you develop your palate is you just smoke through a lot of different cigars and go, okay, this is something really neat and I like this. And now I'm going to seek out more cigars like it.
Yeah.
You know, from my position, I'd love it if they try the whole Oliva line before they go on. But that's the neat thing is there's so many great companies out there that are doing things at the top of their skill set. So it's really, really hard to have a bad cigar nowadays.
You just cut something there.
The Melanio Maduro,
Uh-huh.
another one of my favorites. Like you, I do love the V. That's something I smoke a ton of, especially when I'm out hitting accounts, driving, you know, up and down the turnpike and all over the state of Florida. You know, it's like an old friend that I know what I'm getting. Sometimes, you know, especially if we're on camera, gotta smoke the Melanio. It's a beautiful cigar. And this is that Maduro version that has the Mexican San Andreas wrapper. Great tobacco from Esteli, Condega, Jalapa, these beautiful regions of Nicaragua.
Tell me about that thing you just picked up a few seconds ago.
Oh yeah.
I know what it is, but I just wanted you to tell us. What?
So there's this cool company out there, French produced, called Les Fines Lames. French, right? So we produce, and we picked up this company. VCF as a whole now owns this company, but in America, Oliva and our sales force are the retailers and the sellers of this product. We just came out with lighters. We have several different lighters. But what's really neat is we have these cigar knives from Les Fines Lames. So this is beautiful European classic beauty, right?
Yes.
So the whole way this thing is, down to the lever on this knife, is it goes to Spanish sheep shearing knives in that part of the world. So they would open them up like this. You hold a sheep when you're ready to shear it, and you go through, right? So this is a European historical style of knife. And this all ties into the ritual of how you enjoy a cigar. We have these beautiful things. This is a harder tool to use, but when you use this tool, it really slows you down.
Yes.
And it makes you focus on the ritual, on the experience of the cigar as you're having it. You pull this out in the cigar lounge, everybody's going to ask questions about it.
Yeah.
100%.
And it's absolutely beautiful.
The blade is really sharp.
The blade's insanely sharp.
I think it's one of the sharper tools that I've seen for cutting a cigar.
Yeah.
You have some really high-end cutters. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
But that baby there,
Yeah, it's sharp.
Yeah.
And it's all beveled in a certain way that you use the tool correctly, and it's going to cut the cigar perfectly every single time.
Not only that, but it'll cut any size cigars.
Any size, yep. From your 60 to 70, 80 ring gauge, whatever people are making now. The lighters are really cool. But what's neat also about the cigar knives is those are produced in France. It's one of the few things where so much of the production is, just in terms of production, lighters, things like that. You have to use Asian parts, Chinese, Japanese parts in them, and great quality.
right?
But these knives are all designed and produced in France.
It's really,
Yeah.
I like the sharpness to it. I like the way it looks. It's different. Hey, we like gadgets.
It's fun. It's very tactile, right?
Yes.
You're enjoying every aspect of the cigar, from cutting it to lighting it. We
Yes.
have the perfect tool to do that. If you want to slow down your daily routine enough and focus on what you're doing.
It shows character.
It shows character, but that's why pairings are great too, is you're going to pick what cigar you smoke with what you drink.
That's exactly.
And that's your entire ritual of it.
What you said, it's like a lot of people ask, what's your go-to stick? Right? I don't have a go-to stick.
Yeah.
It depends on my mood for the day and what I'm smoking. I'm going to pair it with something. Maybe I'm in a mood for rum. Maybe I'm in a mood
Yep.
for scotch. Maybe I'm in a mood for just a bourbon. That's going to dictate what cigar I'm going to smoke.
I just want to get to the cigar.
Exactly. No, I get that.
Whatever cigar it is, we just want to get to
I
it.
just want to light it on fire and start enjoying it. And that's another aspect of it too.
Yeah.
It's like tasting notes, right? A lot of people love using tasting notes, and I think they're fantastic. I use more all-encompassing terms, right? So I like saying this cigar is vegetal or it has salinity to it. I like that. But a lot of people will go, oh, this cigar tastes like kiwi or whatever. And that's fantastic too, because it's all these codified words that eventually will get to a flavor wheel and learn. And I know that can be intimidating to a lot of cigar smokers. But I always tell people, keep a little journal as you're starting. And it doesn't matter if you're just starting. You can do this for years and years. Keep a journal of flavors and write down what it tastes like to you, what it reminds you of, what
100%.
that memory is. Because this, we're tasting it and we're smelling it. So we have every sense is in here. So write it down in the words you know, and then maybe you can put it on a tasting wheel and go, oh, now I understand more of this cigar and the larger spectrum.
I am very big on keeping a journal. And I have all types of little composition books to nice leather backing and the whole thing. But what I find really good about my cigar journal, or just for me in general, I not only put down what I'm smoking, what I'm drinking, I also put down what kind of day I was having.
Exactly.
So now
Important.
I go back 5 years and I go, on this day, such and such happened to me.
Yeah. It's not just a cigar journal. That is your
Personal
life journaling.
Yeah, and it shows me my mood and how the smoke affected me
Yeah.
and what was going on in my life at the time. So it's a nice reflection to look back and see those memories and understand it. So I like.
Yeah, it's
a
a time capsule, right?
Yes.
It's a time capsule of that moment in your life, the experience you were having, and what you wanted to do to have fun. And what you wanted to do to have fun was smoke a cigar.
I agree. Well, Ryan, I want to thank you for being here with us.
Absolutely.
It's always
Thank you
a
guys
pleasure.
for having me. I look forward to doing more and more of this.
Well, let's
Bringing in pairings, doing this on camera, showing people a lot of cool ways we can enjoy, not just Oliva. I love Oliva, obviously. I work for this company, and I love that. This is my career. But to be able to enjoy any and every cigar, this is a great resource you guys have right now.
it's for us. It's about the culture. It's about the community, and we did this for yes, the beginners get to learn and know people. But what about the guys that's been doing this for a while? You know, so we get a chance to talk,
Yeah,
share that experience, and hopefully someone learns something new from it.
yeah.
So do we.
That's
It never
awesome.
stop. We never stop
100%.
learning.
That's
So
awesome.
thank you once again, brother.
Thank you. Thank you
Appreciate
guys for
it.
having
you.
the venue,
Appreciate
for
you.
having the community. Appreciate you guys. Good to see y'all.
Always.
All right. That's a wrap.